Bonjour.
Welcome back. Hello, Yves.
Hello.
Welcome to
Hello.
Live Musings
Hello,
Speech.
everybody. Pleased to
Yeah,
see you.
nice to see
Content de
you
vous
too.
voir.
Yeah. Well, it's
I don't know
morning
if
for
I have
me.
to speak in English all time or in French sometime. It will depend on the people, maybe. But with you, I speak in
Yeah,
English.
well,
No problem.
to me, please, in English. Yeah. Yeah, but let me just take a second to introduce you, Eve, to those people who may
Okay.
not know you. I am especially excited about our live conversation today, as I feel it's going to be an absolute treat because, as you see, we have Yves Reynaud joining us all the way from the iconic city of Marseille. Yves is very well known to many of us as he is a highly respected publisher of restorations of rather rare historic Tarot de Marseille decks, right, decks belonging to the Marseille tradition, inclusive, of course, of the very popular these days talk of the town, the Philippe Vachier Tarot, which is considered now to be the oldest surviving complete Type 1 Tarot de Marseille. Yves also is the founder of Tarot de Marseille Heritage, where these decks that Yves produces can be obtained. And of course, Yves Reynaud has an incredible knowledge on the subject of Tarot de Marseille, and it's an enormous honor for me, Yves, to welcome you here onto my channel, onto my YouTube channel for this conversation.
No, I do appreciate your conversation and your enthusiasm, in fact, because you are really somebody enthusiastic about tarot, and this is the main thing, in fact. If you don't like tarot like this, you can't go ahead. It's impossible. Otherwise, it's boring. You drop. But if you are crazy about tarot, it's possible.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. All Tarot, but especially Marseille Tarot has a special place for me in my heart. Let's just quickly take a moment to say hello to everyone, whoever is typing comments, and
Okay.
then we'll get into our chat. So we have here Sebastian. He is joining us all the way from France. So one French person here, yeah. And
Bonjour,
Cheryl is
Sébastien.
yeah.
Hello, Cheryl. Hello,
From
hello. Ah,
We have Laura here as well. I
Laura,
trust
bonjour. Good.
them sound like very French. Yeah.
Hello.
And Sebastian is saying you probably know Marilyn from Tarot Clarity, who also loves historic decks. She can't be here today. And Giselle from the UK is here as well. Lovely to see you both. Yes, so thank you everybody for joining us, and not to interrupt our conversation, I'll try to type hello to those of you who will be joining in. Otherwise, hello everyone, and if you have any questions to Yves, please type them here in the chat, and I will be highlighting for Yves for Yves to see the questions as we go about our interview. So Yves, because it's the first time that I am interviewing you, right? I would love to learn more about you and about your beginnings with tarot. Can you take us back to the time when you were introduced to tarot, perhaps your first experience with tarot?
In fact, now I will be in June. I will be 69, and it all start about. I remind. I was about 22, not I would say perfectly 22, but 21, 22 years old, and I was already interested in esotericism, generally speaking. I start with astrology, and later I discovered numerology. But at this period, I was looking for some books about esotericism, and I found a book, a black book. His name was, I put the name, I found the name, it's Le Langage Secret du Tarot, the secret language of tarot. It was to Chu editor in 1982. It was made by a man a tarotist, French tarotist, who his name was Marcel Picard. Marcel Picard is famous, and he wrote many books. Not too much, but quite enough because they are perfect for me. And it's a theater man. It's a man who is it's an actor, in fact, of theater. And secondly, he is a very good teacher of tarot. And his book was super because it was talking about like a romance between the meeting between an old man who know how to play with tarot and a young man who know nothing about this. And so they play like this, and the book was really interesting. You a turn page book. You see, you would like to see the next page next time. It's very interesting for me, and it was with 22 major deck. Horrible. The worst I saw is the first one I had in hand. And but let's say that it opened your mind. It opened my mind, and after this, I start to buy another normal deck. Let's say it was a Grimaud deck, like this one, for example. You see, like this one. It was French, and it's at this period it was the best, let's say, to read, and nobody know about the historical decks, and 90% of the people in France were looking with tarot reading with this deck. You see, this one that you know probably. It's a Grimaud, and with a deep blue, these colors, etc. So this is the way it starts for me. This book, this deck, and I start with I didn't feel so comfortable with the tarot in the beginning to read the tarot. I try for me first, and after with some people later. But in fact, I dropped within 4 or 5 years. I dropped the tarot for maybe 10 years, 10 or 15 years, because the deck was not satisfactory for me. In fact, I didn't know the historical decks. I like many people. And it's only when I came across back to close to 38 years old, so many years later, that I decided to go deeper in the tarot again, let's say, and I had some courses with some unknown people, and some famous one, which is Philippe Camoin, maybe you know.
Yeah.
I had yes, I had 1 full week training with him, and another time, so in 2 times, and so I discovered before to go to his training, I had some conversation with the eclectic tarot form, you see, and I discovered some historical decks. And I start to collect the historical decks. And everything began like this: the training, the courses, and the collection of tarot.
Yeah, well, for me, it kind of began. My first experience with tarot only was in 2015 when I was 34. And so it was right away at Smith, but the following year, less than a year after, I discovered Tarot de Marseille, and then the rest is history. That's when my interest in historic tarot decks began, pretty much 1 year after I discovered tarot. Yeah. We had a few other people joining us, Jim and Genevieve.
Hello, Jim. Hello.
Hello. And Anne Bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening to the world. Yeah.
Oui.
And
Good.
yeah.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Masha. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, first tarot was the grimoire, and then you developed that interest in tarot. But now that well, you discovered tarot, were introduced first to tarot when you were 22. So it's pretty much the bigger part of your life. And then 38, you began like being seriously interested. So you've been interested in tarot for a very long time, and I'm curious. Why do you think, for you, why tarot has continued to play such a big role in your life? Even like I know that you were a maritime engineer, right, as your career, but still, even through the time, on the side, there was tarot always was there for you.
In fact, I discovered at the same moment the forums on internet and the courses in tarot in the same moment. So I had to iron in the fire, let's say, and I wanted to discuss with the people and to share with the people, for example, what I first discovered. There is some historical deck. I start to make some accumulation of pictures, and I saw them during the training, during the courses, and I show this on the Eclectic Tarot Forum, and it was interesting because many people didn't know the historical decks, and they questioned me, where is it? Where did you find this? How to get it? What is the editor, etc., etc.? I say to them, there is no editor. They are in museum or in private collection. Do like me and search, and you will find. And of course, it was not enough. So after this, I said, it's impossible. I try to exchange with the people, and the people don't know this tarot. Only few people know, historians and some people like Kenji Ishimatsu, for example, the Japanese tarot geek, which I do respect, and that show me the way in a certain way. So I decided to produce one deck just to see the reaction and if it was possible to publish. So I made some money to publish one. It was the Pierre Madonnier, 1709, 1709, and it was crazy because when the people discovered this deck, they said, "Wow, I never saw this deck. Where is it coming from? Where did you saw this?" And I want to have my exemplary. So rapidly, it was growing. But it was a success since the beginning, let's say. The first deck was a full success. So 1 year later, I made another one that I did already collected. It was a François Chausson. And since I never stopped. It was in 2012 for the Madonnier.
So it was 2012 when you produced your first Madonnier, and the Madonnier really started, right? Tarot de Marseille Heritage. That's how it pretty much started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think actually my first deck from you was Madonnier, Pierre Madonnier, but it was, I think, the second edition. I think you made three different editions. Yeah. So this one was, I think, maybe I would have.
This is the second, yes.
Maybe this one and Convert, but it was a bit later. But I think this one was actually my first order from you, or first deck that I really wanted from you. Yeah, and it still remains one of my most favorites. So, and your second one was the Chausson Tarot. Yeah. All right. So, let's talk a little bit, because I know some of the people who are new to my channel, they are also new to Marseille Tarot, but also people in the comments here in our chat who Dustin stopped by. Thank you for your kind word, Dustin, and Zara and Tammy and all the people we mentioned before. They are very familiar with Tarot de Marseille, but also there are quite a few new people. And I find the interest in Tarot de Marseille is growing now, with that online platforms, and people enjoy learning about historic decks. So can you share what you know, just kind of briefly, about the origins of Tarot de Marseille? How Tarot de Marseille, kind of the brief history, if you will, of this tradition of Tarot, and how it actually came to France, if you have knowledge on
that. I am not an historian, but I have read a lot about history of tarot, and I share many views with Mr. Thierry Depaulis, which is a famous expert and historian. And regularly I meet him in Paris. Each time I go to Paris, I meet him, I eat with him, and we discuss many matters about tarot. And so I read his book, and he made some wonderful books about the history of tarot and some exhibition where he was expert. And so we can say that normally, let's say 19% of the historians are okay to say that the tarot of Marseille don't came from Marseille, but came from Italy. Mm-hmm. So, in fact, it's normal in some way. And it came in France, not by Marseille, but via, most probably, by the city of Lyon, which is about 300 kilometers upper than Marseille, so nearly in the middle, close to Switzerland. And why? Because Lyon is, even if we have very few decks typically from Lyon, it is considered to the biggest center of production of card makers in France historically. And in Lyon, due to the connection with Switzerland, Germany, Italy, and of course France, because it is a French city, they had in a geographical point very important. And they have some important things. Every 3 months, they have some international fair trade where all the merchandise were coming, and the merchants were coming from about 10 countries: Germany, Italy, Spain, Swiss, of course, Austria, etc., France, English also, I assume. And they were coming for about 2-3 weeks, every 3 months, to have a free tax zone to exchange the goods, you see, and change the money. Because at this period, we didn't have the euro, of course, and so they have to change the money. And so the bankers came also from Italy, and some Italian bankers are build up banks inside Lyon, for example, because of the change operations with so much quantity of money to trade and to change on goods. And it was the origin of the bank system nearly in France, the biggest place, and also the origin of the main communication for tarots and playing cards, because they were also trading cards. So it was it's a pity that we don't have too much about the history of Lyon and the decks. The decks are missing, but we know the story. We know that it came from Lyon for sure, because of this reason, economical reason.
Yeah. And out of the existing Tarot de Marseille decks that kind of originated in Lyon City, it was Dodal, right? Jean Dodal was produced in
Jean
Lyon.
Dodal, yes.
Yeah, one of the famous ones, kind of from the top of my head that I remember.
Yes. It is a John Dodal, which is nearly the only one that we know about, more or less, maybe one or two, no more. And there is many decks in Marseille that were produced, that we know, and that I reproduce, or also in Switzerland. There is many decks produced by French card makers that migrated to Switzerland. And there is also in Dijon, the Madonier is coming from Dijon, which is at about 200 kilometers upper on Lyon, you see. Belfort also with the Jean-Pierre Laurent deck, and Besançon also, and Strasbourg. The east parts of France are the most suitable for tarot, let's say.
And Avignon, I think the païen is from Avignon, right?
Yes, Avignon, yes. Because Avignon at this period was not France. Avignon was part of the papal, the Pope territory, and it was not French, so it was free of any tax. So this is why some French card makers in Marseille went to Avignon, not to avoid to pay the French tax, for example.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You know, when you look the money, you have many information about history. History is made of communication. Follow the money, and you will find the tarots and the card makers, because they try to avoid the tax and to pay the less and to get the more, or to sell to foreign countries, so they migrate from France to Swiss, for example, many card makers, to avoid the tax in France, and because there is no tax on the tarot in Switzerland, so they went to Switzerland, for example. In Fribourg, there is some. Claude Burdel is a French. Claude Burdel was born in Villefranche-sur-Saône, which is at about 30 kilometers in the north of Lyon. And he started to his apprentice. He was apprentice in somebody named Melchior. His master, card maker, was in Lyon, instructing him. And after Claude Burdel went to when he was good enough, he went to make his career in Fribourg, in Switzerland. He married with a Swiss girl, etc. And he became the biggest card maker in Switzerland.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that either. I kind of considered Claude Burdel to be Swiss, because like out of Swiss tarots, probably Claude Burdel is the more famous, like more well known, right, to kind of tarot enthusiasts. Yeah, amazing.
He's French, like Rochias également. Claude Rochias is also French, in Neuchâtel, in Switzerland also. Many are French, like this.
Yeah.
Because of the tax, they shift.
No,
or for other things, but it was like this at this period. So the Tarot of Marseille came from Italy, and the historian estimates that the letters, the hieroglyph, let's say, on the card, could be an invention from France. The card was probably constructed in Italy, but the fact to put a name was probably made from French.
Like the title and the sequence of the cards.
Yes. Most probably it was this was invented to improve the Italian model. You see, so they made this. So it's a combination of Italian and French. The result is.
But I feel like Tarot de Marseille, in a way, standardized the titles and the numbering of the cards, because all the Italian decks, they kind of varied, although they shared some kind of numbering, but in terms of numbers of the trumps, they were not consistent, right? And the iconography also, when Tarot de Marseille began, is pretty much began to become more standard, right, across the boards. And Tarot de Marseille, it has remained pretty much from the beginning to the end as it was in terms of the deck structure and titles.
In fact, when you read some books from Mr. Thierry Depaulis and other experts, not only him, Michael Dumet also, which was a big inspiration for Mr. Depaulis. It's a connection, you see, in time.
Mm.
And there is about three systems of numeration and names. There is three types of tarot, in fact,
Mm.
for the classification. But let's talk about Tarot of Marseille, and that's enough. But you have to know, if you go deeper inside, there is a lot of differentials. But
Mm.
for those we are talking about today, this is the normal classification that everybody knows. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and I wanted to mention, because you mentioned Thierry Depaulis and his books in French, there are two excellent essays that are available for, like online in PDF. It's part one and part two, and it's called
Ah,
the
yes, yes, yeah.
Facts and Fallacies. And for me, like when I discovered Tarot de Marseille, that was my Bible. You know, like you can
Ah,
see it's
yeah.
all highlighted, and yeah, you can find those ones online very easily. And I'll try to remember to find the links for those of you who don't know, so I can just link it in the description once we finish our live
Yeah,
conversation.
this is perfect because it's in English, because
Yeah,
it's fluent in English, and it's perfect to read these two parts. You have to
yeah,
read the
yeah,
two,
two parts.
and
Yeah,
it's very interesting
very
because it
interesting. And
was
then, like, well, part one is 41 pages, so it's pretty much like a mini book, right? And
yeah.
this one I don't know, because it's just probably a part of the book. So this one, no, not
In
41.
fact, it is a
20
periodical
pages. Sorry.
publication. It's a
Yeah,
periodical publication where it's an international playing card society. You see,
yeah.
and he wrote articles on these two articles.
Yeah, so it says like, yeah, the Playing Cards Society Volume 42 for those people who
Yeah,
have
yeah.
access to online. But I can't.
You may order these two specific numbers to get this in
Okay.
English. It's
Yeah.
possible. Or
Yes.
there is his book, this one,
Bringing.
but unfortunately it is in English, in French. Sorry, Le Tarot révélé, a story of tarot from the documents. It
Hmm.
was built up in 2014. Yes, I think so. I check. Yes, second edition in 2018, and the first one 2013. Yes, by Thierry Depaulis and John MacLeod, and it was made in cooperation with the Museum of Tarot from La Tour de Pise. And
Hmm.
it's a wonderful book, but unfortunately it is in French. So,
Yeah.
but if you have fact and fallacy, that's perfect.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
also like
this one.
smaller books, I started translating now. If the book is not like 500 pages, I actually
Hmm.
have a few French books and a few Italian books. I translate for myself the parts, like which I'm interested in.
Oh,
But it's kind of with like in online translation is really easy now. Yeah. Uh, when we talked about the first deck that you produced, being Pierre Modenier, a few people
yeah.
say that what their first deck from you was. So Jim was
Ah,
saying that the Conver was
the
his
conveyor, yes.
first, and though I'm blown away with the Vashia Tarot now, yeah, so many of us, yeah, with all the
The
violets.
conveyor. Yeah, to make the conveyor was really a pain. It was, yes. It took about with me and Wilfried Houdouin, that was a photographist for this. We worked together for about 10 years, and we worked on the conveyor for about 3 4 years to build up the conveyor, because the conveyor. In fact, when we were doing it, the restitution, we were making some discovering, some details, important details, years after years, collecting things, and we had to wait to be sure to stop at a certain moment, and yes, we can do it now. So it took 3 4 years to make it.
Mm,
Normally, in 1 year, I can do it, but
yeah,
4 years, I thought that we were going mad. But we achieved the goal to do the convert,
yeah.
and unfortunately, now it is out of print.
Is
It
it?
is finished. It expired. Yes.
Yeah,
So normally I should do it again, But the Vachier came, and with the Vachier, it became mandatory to first publish the Vachier, and later on, maybe to publish again the convert.
Yeah.
See?
And
But
we'll talk about in detail about the Vachier and like other Marseille decks that were originating from Marseille. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll just quickly highlight the comments. And Cheryl's first deck from you was the Madenier in 2012. And David is saying that,
Cheryl Smith says that she started with the first Madoni I made in 2012. And yeah, I understand that she can still feel good with this deck.
Yeah.
Because we made it in the idea to make some how to say, a facsimile. At this moment, we thought that a facsimile was the best things to do. After I changed my mind some years later. But at this moment, I made a facsimile.
Just show
And
some. That's the Madenier.
yeah. And it was good to make a facsimile at this moment. And it was good also not to do again a facsimile. Because we have some, we can improve the technique, and we can improve how to show the reality of, because when you do a facsimile, you do the deck like it is now, not like it was when the card maker wanted. So there is some colors can fade, and the wood can be destroyed sometimes, some things. So it's better now. I consider it's better to make a restitution than to make a facsimile. Of course, I understand that if a museum made a scan, he want a facsimile. They don't make any change. But me, I am ready to change something if I am sure, because it is for the best of the editor and of the card maker. Okay.
Yeah. And also for reading, you see, like, it's kind of some facsimile decks when they're not, like, especially the ones that haven't been preserved very well, they're quite blurry, with lots of, like, bleeding, right?
Yes, of course.
When slightly restored decks, they're really good for readings. And so many of us do readings online or take pictures, they're just kind of more aesthetically pleasing, I guess, probably to read with. Yeah. And let me just see. David was saying that he loves the Madenier Tarot, my favorite Marseille. And for Sebastian, let me just highlight. The Vachier will be favorite.
Of 24. Of 24.
Well,
But maybe, for 25 or 26, what will be the next? Huh? You will see. You will see. But it's hard to compete with the Vachier, for sure, because the original was superb. It's a miracle. In fact, it's a miracle, because so old, and to be so to look so young, without any aesthetic, without any injection of anything, no silicone, nothing. And this deck, it was more easy to work with this deck, of course, because the original is in incredible good state.
Yeah. So just Cheryl's comment that she prefers facsimile.
She prefers the facsimile. Yeah. Okay. No problem. I understand.
I like them.
I know his position. I know her position.
Yeah.
I respect. This is why I made many variations, because I know that facsimile is okay for some people, and some prefer a restitution, etc., or restoration.
Well, I really like. Well, you I actually do have your third edition, because you know how I like to have backup copies, so I like to have one at home and one that I can just carry around. So yeah. Yes. I can't wait for 2025. I know you've got one in his basket. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. I say nothing.
Lips are sealed. One should be produced, but which one Yes. Okay. All right. But
Okay.
we spoke now about the very famous regions, right? Like where what we know as Tarot de Marseille, what we call Tarot de Marseille, was produced in France. So we had Lyon, we had Marseille, Avignon, which kind of didn't belong to France at that time, and Dijon, right? So four main areas: Marseille, Lyon, Dijon, and Avignon, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Four main ones, and of course, like we have Paris, but it's different, right? With Jean Nablet and
Yes.
yeah, okay. So yeah, but when it comes to Tarot de Marseille, we know that Tarot de Marseille didn't originate in the city of Marseille. But can you share again with those people, novices to Tarot de Marseille, new people here to this tradition, where the term, where the name Tarot de
Ah.
Marseille came from?
Ah. In fact, the terms came from three authors, various authors. Romain Merlin. I found the date. Yes, Romain Merlin in 1869 published a book about tarot interpretation and talk about Tarot de Marseille. And another man, a famous card reader and esoterist, French, Gérard Dancos, was active around 1900. So this period, and also later we had some Paul Marteau that published in 1930 his famous tarot name Ancien Tarot de Marseille. So this one, let's see, this one, Ancien Tarot de Marseille, you see,
Yeah,
from
which is
Paul
now the
Marteau.
Grimaud. Yeah, yeah.
It's from Grimaud, Marteau. It was this. And so these three editor or publisher or writers, uh, let's say, invented the name Tarot de Marseille, Tarot of Marseille. So this historically, that's the way it works. Three people at different period, but it was not so long in time. You see, it's when we talk about 19th century, beginning of 20th century. So it's very recent, the terms Tarot of Marseille. But the decks were in Marseille before the name invention, Tarot de Marseille, you see.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you have, of course, the Vacher with 1639, huh?
Yeah,
1639, and the beginning was in around 1608 or something like this, the first tarot decks in Marseille. So much before these historians,
yeah.
writers, let's say.
Yeah, way before. It's like 200, probably about 200 years. Like if you look at Paul Marteau, it's 1800s, right? So kind of
Yeah,
around
yeah,
200 years ago, if not earlier. Yeah, because we also don't know the decks that haven't survived.
yeah.
Yes. Right. So let's talk now about the decks that you produced under the Tarot de Marseille Heritage, right? That's your website. And it will be linked for people if you don't know the website, but I think I have it in here. So that's Yves' website where his reproductions of historic decks can be obtained. And let's return back to Pierre Modenier, because I don't think, well, you told me the story, but I don't think people know the story linked with Kenji, Pierre Modenier, and
Yes.
of Tarot de Marseille Heritage. So can you share the story again behind Pierre Modenier and
Uh,
into
it was
Kenji?
long. Yes, it was maybe in 2010, something like this. And I was on the forum, Eclectic Tarot Forum, and later Tarot History, I think also. And there were three good networks, good forum, and Eclectic was the best for me, the biggest and the best. And some people were regularly interfering, and Kenji was interfering from Japan with me and other people. And one time I remember he talked to me and he told me, "Do you know this Tarot Pierre Badelier? You should look after because he is very nice, etc." And I didn't know the name, you know. I didn't know this deck, and I was at the beginning of my education in historical tarots, let's say. And so he provided me some link, and I went to the museum in Zurich, where the original deck is, with these envelopes also. And I discovered it, and I saw the original, and it was fantastic impression to have. When you have an original deck in hand, first of all, you feel it, and sometimes you need to have some gloves, sometimes no, it depends the museum, and you smell it because it is old, and it smell another like the old books. So most of the time it smells differently than a normal page of paper. And so it was really interesting to me to see this. And later, as I told you before, I decided to publish. I negotiated the right with the museum, and I made this deck, and I was crazy enough to make 3,000 copies. And it was a good thing because the people reacted well, and rapidly I opened my site, my website, with this deck, only this deck, one deck to sell, one website.
Yeah,
And it took maybe 1 year, and after 1 year, I decided, yes, I can make another one. It is not too risky because the first one is sell well, so I can try with another one. The idea was to make with the profit of the first one to have some cash enough to produce the next one, etc. Not to make benefit for me because I was working, but only to produce the next one, to invest, in fact.
To cover the
So
cost for
yeah, to auto produce with the benefit, and it worked like this. And it was by chance I made a good choice with the Madonier, and the people reacted well. And when I made the chanson also, they reacted well. And after the other one, I remember that after the chanson, I went I made 2 by 2. Every year I produced 2 days. At a certain year, I was producing 4 days, 4 decks in 1 year. Imagine 4 decks.
That's just on the more recent one.
Yes, the last version. Yes, yeah.
Last version. Yeah, I'll just show a few cards. Yeah, but did you expect, that? I mean, it's kind of people here in the chat. I know our friends will agree that your contribution to tarot world and to bringing Marseille Tarot to the world is it's really enormous, and we're also very grateful to you, Yves. But did you expect when you published your first Pierre Madonier Tarot? Did you expect it will be so successful internationally?
I was hoping, but I never dreamed this. No, it was a surprise to see the reactions. Yes, it was a surprise because I thought maybe I need 4 or 5 years to recover the money and to make another one. But in 1 year, it was possible to have enough money to make another one. So I made another one.
Yeah. So but let's go. Yeah, we'll talk about all of your decks, really, actually. But let's talk about this important one, right? Everyone is talking right now. Well, everyone, my friends, because I surround myself with people with the same interest. So everybody is talking about the Vachier. Can you
The
please
Vachier.
share a little bit, a little bit, everything we need to know about the Vashia Tarot? I'm also very curious to hear the story of you acquiring it, because that's a massive one, right? Like, it's just such an important deck. There was an auction, and we don't know the details, but you are the man. So whatever you can share with us, from you first seeing the cards, acquiring the deck, and then producing it with your son.
I was informed of the existence of this deck the year before, so it was in 2022, so 2022, the end of 22, and Thierry Depaulis was looking for me, for my assistance, because he is in Paris, and we had already some exchange, and I already came to the archive in Marseille for him to find some things and to take pictures, etc. And he wanted me to make some research because he was in position to estimate the deck value for the auction, and he wanted to have more information about the card maker Vachier, to be sure if he was a card maker or not. His hypothesis was that he was, but he wanted to have collection of documents, official documents. So with this information, I went to the archives, and I saw the original documents, for example, of genealogy, when this man was born, when he died, when he married, what. But because when you married in France, I suppose in many countries also, they ask you you are born, date of birth, name of your parents, date of birth of parents, where they are coming from, what is your job, the job of your wife, future wife, plus the job of your parents, etc. So I found the documents that prove that Pierre Vachier was really a card maker, and that he was born in Marseille, this, when he married, who are the witnesses, who are also card makers, etc. So I took pictures of many pages, and we collected the information, and so thanks to this, Thierry Depaulis was in position to make a clear estimation of the deck, to be sure that it was really a card maker that made this deck, and to rebuild the history of this card maker, the genealogy, so to estimate the value of the deck. So yeah.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to do this, and after this, I decided that I could compete to have the deck in the auction. So I went in Paris for the first time in an auction, and it was not so easy, and I made it. And since the beginning, I know that if I succeed to buy this deck, I will publish it. I will not keep it for me, of course, because I am not a tarot collectioner who keep for him in a seal, etc. No, I don't work like this. It is not my way. Me, I buy, or I change, or I deal with the museum to reproduce and to communicate. That's all. I don't want to have a big collection. And normally the decks that I have will go to some museum, normally, not to private people. This is my decision anyway, and some French museum. So the Vachier came, and I saw the original. It was a really impressive, the quality of the decks. What decided me is the genealogy of this man, the history, the date, the expertise of Mr. Depaulis, because with such an expert, he don't play with you, because he has his reputation. And I decided to have this deck and to reproduce it. The only option was to reproduce it, not to keep it. But this is why I had also to make 3,000 copies, because I thought that this deck, normally now I publish 1,000, 1,500 exemplary, but this deck I thought is important, so
Yeah.
it will be probably a bestseller, probably like the Madonier.
Mm.
And many people would like to have it, and it's good to have one edition, 3,000, and after that's it. You see, and after they will go to the museum for the searchers
Mm.
because it will end in a museum, the original, for sure, for sure,
Yeah. And
and the
do you
French museum normally, because
yeah.
I don't want to. Sorry, but I don't want to send it in other country. Let's say, because
Yeah.
it's from. Normally, I would like to have it in Marseille, but Marseille, as I told you, they prefer the soap to the tarot.
Yeah. That's very
It's
sad.
a pity, it's a pity, but I respect. Okay,
Mm.
so but there is not only Marseille in France. Huh? There
Yeah.
is many museum and the national museum. So why not?
Yeah.
I prefer.
And do you have the original with you?
Ah,
If you can show us some cards and talk about the condition of the original. So yeah, if you like, it will be such a treat if you can show us some cards now on the screen of the original, and also share about how, because your son Valentin, right, helped you with the restoration.
yeah.
So if you show us the originals and share what choices you made, what decisions you had to make in the restoration of the Vashia to reproduce it.
In fact, it was not too difficult to reproduce, to restore, because there were only two, three operations to do. The operation, for example, consists in putting the card to center the card. You see, you have
Mm,
to have the black line that's about 2-3 meters on everywhere, and not to have the black line cut like on the original decks. You see,
mm,
some cards are really close to the black lines, and so it is not nice. And so for the quality of the deck, I prefer to centerize the card, respecting the dimension, of course, every time.
mm.
So this is what I do. And also we had 2, 3 cards with warm holes. You see,
Mm,
very very small warm holes, about 1 millimeters diameters, and perfectly round, only on 2, 3 cards. And it was at the first time I didn't saw them, but looking again the cards by card, I discovered there is a wormhole. It's not
mm,
so frequent. Normally the wormhole are made on the woodblock, because the worm, they go inside the woodblock,
mm,
but they don't touch the card because the cards are not at the same place, etc. But on this deck, strangely, there is 2, 3 cards with wormhole. And the wormhole, at a certain moment, for example, he stopped and he didn't went through the cards, but he started just eating the card on 1 millimeter, and he stopped in the middle of the card. Maybe he
mm,
has enough, I suppose. And so it was peanuts to rectify this. So
mm,
it was rectified, like also the black line to center the decks, and the colors were nearly perfect. So we just had to unlight a little the green, because with the oxidation with oxygen, the green because a little darker. Some deck can become completely black on the green colors, you see,
mm,
because of the oxidation. It was not the case, but the green was a little darker than I made, because I have to think that how was the deck when it was produced, not now. It's a question to not to do a facsimile, but to make a restitution. And the bleeding of ink was nearly nothing. It was nearly perfect for the bleeding, so we don't have to rectify nearly all the bleeding. So, and on one card, we had some, I suppose that it was some, I estimate it on one small place, the end of the hermit was with, like if some glue went on the hand, so the design was not perfect. And I think it was some glue, because the card were glue.
Yeah, of
Glue
course, yeah.
that was stick and was dry on this place. So I don't, of course, the original, I don't do anything on the original. It was everything with Photoshop or other specific software to do this. But nobody knows that there is this, huh? Like the whole. If you don't know, the card, you can't find it.
Yeah. But can you show us some of the original cards?
Ah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wait a second.
Yeah.
You don't see me?
No.
Perfect.
Mystery, tarot mysteries and secrets. Just highlighting. Yeah, nice Dina for the wall. Ah, yes, Sebastian, Besançon, yeah, another area in France that was producing that, yeah, Tarot de Besançon.
Here we are.
Here we are, ta-da,
So,
we're back.
first of all, sorry, I met. Whoop. Up. First
No
of all,
problem.
da-da-da. Here
Ta-da!
it is.
Oh, wow.
Look.
So it came with the paper even, wow.
It is with the deck. It was with the deck, but it is not dated. It is not the original things. You see, the original box. It is something very, very, very old. It's made of veiling. This is a specific skin where the people were writing parchment. You know this term, parchment? No. Okay. So
Parchment paper.
yes, it is
Yeah,
parchment paper.
parchment. Yeah, I think we call
It
it
is
parchment.
parchment paper, and it was probably from a book that I suppose that they destroy the book, and they use it to cover and to protect the deck. And I don't know if you can see this, I show you. You can read something.
I can see it's the writing. Is it like Saint
Yes.
Thierry or something? Jo
Yes.
Tarot? Yeah.
Yes. It's written, I suppose, by the previous owner. It's written Jeu de Tarot, game of tarots, Louis the 13th, or you say, or Louis 14th. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Or yes. Or 14th. Yes. It's not easy to see, but Louis the 15th, the 13th, or I suppose 14th. So it means that the owner, the previous owner, didn't know exactly what was the name of the deck and the date. You see? So he made this because he was sure that it was during a king, and so he used this, which is something very strange that we call. It is the seal of the Order of the Holy Spirit. You see? This seal that you see.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
And if you look closely, I try to show you. It's not so easy to find. No, I try to find. Yes. Here you can maybe see. Yes. I don't know if you see, there is some letter L.
Yeah.
The L means for Louis.
Right. Yeah. So yeah.
Louis is the name of the king,
Yeah.
Louis. So the how to say the jewel was this seal was a sort of jewel like this, a collar, you see, and it was a seal of the order of the Holy Spirit. It was this order was founded by Henry III on 1578. Okay, the order.
1578. Yeah. Okay.
So we are turning around at the same period. And so, here is the deck.
Wow.
So, yeah, you
Oh,
have
so special.
here the restitution,
Mm.
and here, sorry, I tried. One card is better. No? You see?
Yeah, but the condition looks amazing. The condition of the original
It
looks
is.
very, like if you look at like how many, it's like how many years ago?
You see?
475 years ago, right? Like around that time. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's about 400 years, more or less.
Mm.
And so you see the condition? It's
Yeah, yeah,
perfect.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's
It's
like
incredible, huh?
perfect on the screen. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah.
Of course, it's the same
Yeah.
back, same size, and of
And
course,
because also the unique feature, right, of the vashia is those purple violet color use, right?
yeah,
And was it like before 1700 when it was used before the taxation for the colors, so that they could use more colors than just the prime colors.
yeah. Yes, it's a question of taxation, of course, because the more you use color, the more you pay taxes because you use more tax, yes, more colors, more products. And I show you another one. Ah, yes, here it is.
Yeah,
Here,
people
the rest
saying,
is,
"Wow, it's amazing."
look, here you have here the restitution, and here the original. Is
Yeah, you
it
can just
good?
bring them a little bit higher. Yeah. Mm.
So you see that there is some default here because some places are white because the brush was not perfectly applied, but the quality is the same. Huh? You see, but of course this purple is deeper, deep, but you see the difference. I suppose that you see the difference of purple. But why I made this purple more clear? Because it was more clear for sure. Because with the time there is some oxidation and some change on the coloring. The color are becoming darker. You see?
So the colors would have been much like more vivid, right? More vivid to an eye.
Yes. And you can see something. The detail I talk about about the glue. You see? Here you see the restitution and before. You see this area?
Ah, yeah. Next to the
You
stuff, yeah.
see? This is the work done by my son.
Yeah. Yeah, now we see. Yeah.
Now you are the before and after.
Mhm. Yeah.
So you see that, for example, the green, of course, is lighter and there is more oxidation on the previous, on the old one, of course. But if I don't make a facsimile, I make a restitution. This is another philosophy.
Yeah. Beautiful. Both are beautiful. I mean, yeah.
Both are interesting, yeah, of course.
Mm.
But I prefer to make a restitution than a facsimile because I think I respect more the card maker with restitution than with a facsimile.
Yeah.
in my opinion. So this is the way it works. I try to find, if possible, yes, another thing interesting. Let me see what it is.
Yeah, our friends are loving it. So Genevieve is saying it's incredible, and Jim is saying that the green is really different, like you said, like more
Yes, yes,
light.
yes. Of course, yeah.
And this
And
is
of
such.
course, you can see that the two of denier, the card is reverse printed, the
Mm,
date. You see,
yeah,
and I made it differently. Yes, you see the difference.
yeah. So you reversed. Yeah, you know what I
I
did in
reversed.
my video. Yeah, what I did in my video, I showed them, well, because you kept the original at the, let me just bring you in. You kept the original card at the back, right? So what I
Yes.
did, I put a mirror, like a
Ah,
mirror, like a mirror you look at, and then it became like what you're showing. Yeah. So
yeah,
just to
but
demonstrate people that you didn't
yeah,
correct anything, it's just more like the mirror of it, right? The mirror
yeah.
image.
It's a mirror
Of
effect. Yeah, yes, for sure,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a mistake made by the man, because when you engrave on the opposite side, you see, and so
Mm,
he made a mistake. It's happened.
yeah.
Huh? It's not the first time that I see this type of problems.
But in Tarot de Marseille in general, there are irregularities, right? Even in spelling of
Yeah.
the titles and yeah,
Yes.
like
Yes. Yes.
sometimes numbers reverse because it's just more well, it's human error, right? We all people, we all make those errors, and that's a charm of Tarot de Marseille as
Yeah.
well.
And it reflects, in fact, how to say, the level of education of France at this period. You have to know that at this period, 80% of the people was not able to put their name, and they were only made initials when they signed some documents. When they
Mm,
married, they can't do the name, or they have to they write like a baby. You see, because they have not enough education. Only the rich were educated, and so people were very poor, and so this is why nearly nobody know how to read a book, for
mm,
example. So, so
yeah.
and another thing that the orthograph was not harmonized, balanced in all the kingdom of France. It
Mm,
was by law, but it was some different during the country. In some area, they were using a different name, and not using same letter for the same signification, etc. It took 10 years to equilibrate the French and to build up an harmonic system of
mm,
writing. So it explains also many things.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
card reflects this. The card talk about the past.
yeah.
It's
But that's
interesting.
the beauty. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with historic decks, because I know, well, you haven't produced Dodal, you haven't produced the Noble like popular decks.
Hmm?
How do you decide which tarot
Ah,
deck to produce?
ah. It. I decide. I do well what I like. First, I prefer to start to do what I like, and if there is something to do that I must do, I do it. But it is not on the top of the to-do list. You see,
Mm,
I do those that I love. I made the Madonier because it was very good for me, and the Chausson also for different reasons, etc. And after I say I have to do this deck because they are historical value. They are important for the story. So I made my list, and
mm,
I have. This is why I still have about 5, 6 decks to do. And after this, I can I will like I discovered the Vachier, so it changed my mind because it changed my forecast and it changed
Mm.
my publication dates. See, and
Yeah.
so I decide for my taste, and secondly, the importance is this estimate of decks.
Mm.
Why I didn't do the Dodal or the Noble? Because the Dodal was already made by Jean-Claude Flournoy, and I know him well and his wife also, Roxane, and they were making also the Noble, and I was more frankly attracted by the tarot made in Marseille or made in Switzerland or made in Dijon than the Noble or than even the Dodal.
Mm.
Because I estimate that the Dodal is nice, but I prefer, for example, the Jean-Pierre Payen.
Me
And now
too.
I prefer the Vachier to the Jean-Pierre Payen.
Yeah.
And
They're my
you
favorite
see,
wood blocks. Yeah.
so this is why I didn't make the Dodal, and I don't think I will do it because there is some people who do it already very well. First,
Yeah. It's
also,
very beautiful. Mm.
and for example, also, I don't want to produce Italian decks, tarot decks, because Italian do the job very well. We have,
Mm.
my colleagues from Italy, they produce very good Italian tarots, and
Mm.
I prefer the French taste also,
Yeah.
or Switzerland. But
Yeah.
as you know already, they are coming from France many. So
But you
this is
see,
my
like I do,
explanation.
yeah, I love Italian decks, but there is something about those kind of rustic wood blocks that I love.
Mm.
And for me, the wood blocks, those Washia wood blocks is my favorite type one. And I think Madenier will always be my favorite type two because it's just beautiful. It's just so
Yeah,
beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it
But
is.
yeah, you mentioned that you're quite passionate, right, about the decks that originally actually were produced in Marseille, right, by Marseille-based card makers. Can you recap what of the decks? I know the Vachier was produced in Marseille.
Mm.
Nicolas Conver was from Marseille. What other
Mhm.
decks that you made that originated, like the production of the cards was done
Chausson,
at Marseille?
Chausson is from Marseille,
Yeah,
and Arnoux and Anfoux. Arnoux
I
and
do
Anfoux
have Arnaud. Yeah, I do have Arnaud.
was from Marseille. Yes, out
I'll
of
just
print now.
of this
Out of
one.
print.
Out
Yes,
of print as well.
yes, yes, yes.
Mine is very special. Mine is number 7.
Ah,
Okay, sorry guys,
good.
it's out of print. I'll still show you the cards. I do love the blue on the backs as
Yeah,
well.
yes, very,
I
very nice
miss
black.
it so much.
Uh, it's written France everywhere. On many cards, it's written France. It's typical. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
some
what
people
I
told
love.
me, why don't you erase it, France from this card? I said, because it is part of the story of this deck.
Yeah, and
It
it's
was
like a
mandatory.
copyright. You still I can hear you read
Yeah.
Arnaud and
Yeah.
Four. Yeah,
At this period, it was mandatory to put the name of the card maker. Yeah.
yeah.
This is why
But
it was
I love
done.
that France is written everywhere on the majors, right? On the major cards.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
beautiful one. Yeah, so and any other ones that were made in Marseille that you've reproduced?
No. Payen is from Avignon. No, I don't see any more. Yes, the Fautrier. Yes, Fautrier. This one.
Ah, yeah, Fautrier, I also have it. Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
maybe you show it. Yeah,
Joseph Fautrier. Joseph
yeah,
Fautrier was made in Marseille in 1762. You see?
mm, yeah, yeah.
You see? Yeah. And
Marseille.
Fautrier, this exemplary, you know where is? There is one original. Now I know that there is two, but when I started to make it, um, the only original was in Napoli, in Italy, on a private collection. And I spent about 7 years to find this deck and to pursue the Italian to give me the right to reproduce it, etc.,
Mm,
etc. So I wanted to make this deck, and I succeed to make it. and it's really a tarot that was made in Marseille in 1762. Interesting. I don't see any other for the moment. I don't see, no. Already made, no. And to do, the problem is that I know some colleague which is now in South America, Central America, a man from Aix en Provence, and he starts to make an old deck made in Marseille. Debussy, I think, the name of the card maker, but the deck is not complete, is not full. So he made a mix with two decks. Impossible for me to do this, but okay, he decided to do this, so up to him to decide. But for the, I can't do a deck if he is not full, 78 cards. Because some people, for example, the Noble, there is no full deck of Noble, you know. Noble, there is 3 or 6 cards missing. And but it's easy to make them because these are only the baston, the sticks, the numeral sticks. So it's easy to do.
Because you just follow the pattern of the minor cards.
Yes. So it was easy to do, but you see, it was the only option to do it, the only deck that it's possible.
Because it's quite incredible that the Vashie is a full deck, right? So it's quite incredible that all of the cards actually, were
in the same and in the same good sake. Because sometimes you have some decks full, but in fact, for example, the major are more used than the numerals on the pips, because the people were only using the 22. And so you can see that.
In France, I know in France it's still. I know in France, among of my friends, it's still very common to use only the major arcana.
Many readers use only the 22, and or they use only the aces, the ace of spade, ace of of cup, etc. On the 4 aces to have the 4 directions on the 22 majors.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that people put aces and 22 cards.
Yes, because it is, of course, it's logical because if with the ace, for example, for the cup, it is about the feelings. So if for the 4 aces, if somebody took the cup, you can say, your question is about the feelings. It's not about the brain. It's about the feelings, or etc. It's a good way for the tarot readers to follow and to find a way to communicate with their customer.
It's a great way. But now with Tarot de Marseille Heritage, how many decks now you have reproduced?
16. I saw
16. I think I have 11 or 12. I think I have of yours. And
I think it's 16. With, as you wait, yes, I remember. Yes, 16. Yes, I have my papers. I published 16. I read 16 historical deck, and I republished 2 of them. 3 times for the Madonier, for example, 2 times for the Chausson, and plus some artistic tarots, like the tarot of Ben Gross of Rivesaltes.
It's quite an incredible one. That's a beautiful one.
It's work of art.
Is it also sold out, or you still have some? Is it sold out, or you still have some copies?
I have still some copies, but it was published on only 600 copies, you see? And there is still some, yes.
Mine is number 2. I'm very proud of that. And for the
yes, you are the number 2.
you know me.
You know the famous TV film The Prisoner. You know The Prisoner with David McGowan? It was a movie at the TV. a famous series.
Mm.
The Prisoner was the name.
Yeah.
And Patrick McGowan, he made also the script of this
Mhm.
series, and he was the main actor. And he is the number 6. And
Okay.
everybody say to him, "You are the number 6." And he say, "I am not a number. I am not a number." So you are not the number 2, but you like the number 2.
I like number two. Yeah, it's very good. 222, 222. Yeah, I actually think
It's nice also.
Mike
It's very
Payen
good.
from you, like the Jean-Pierre Payen, I think it's 222. Yes. So yeah, 16 decks. Some of them are now out of print. Now, what are the best sellers? What are the decks that are most popular among your customers and people who collect, who buy from you?
Yeah. I have it. Pierre Madonier, of course,
Mm-hmm.
is the more popular. It was Nicolas Convert also. Now it is sold out. And François Chausson also sold very well. And the last one is now the Vachier is starting like this. Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
sold already 310 copies, and
Okay.
in 2-3 months. You see,
Yeah.
so normally I do this in 1 year.
Mm.
You see.
Yeah.
So but because the reaction was big with this deck.
Yeah. Well,
But
but I think you see, like, if people decide, like, okay, which one type one Tarot de Marseille deck can I get? Vachier is a must because it's like, I mean,
I think
it's
yes.
the oldest, it's so important historically, and I'm so grateful to you, Eve, that you reproduced it. Because when we saw, before we knew that it would be like you, like we didn't even know that you were going to the auction, right? But in the tarot community, among my friends, we talked about that we really want somebody to buy the Vachier, somebody who will actually produce it, somebody who will not just lock it in the house or in the safe, right, for no one to see.
Normally it
And
was the
really
way.
fulfilled.
Normally it was the way for this the destiny of this deck,
Yeah, exactly.
because
Yeah.
I think that the people who were in competition were looking for this, not a museum. It was not
Mm.
a museum, the competitors. So it would have been in a seal for sure,
Yeah.
in a tombstone. Tombstone, you see.
Exactly. Yeah. Collecting dust, like even.
luckily, it didn't happen.
Yeah. No, and it's wonderful that your plan later on, that the museum will have the deck. Yeah. Yeah. And which of your decks that you think are not, well, not really underrated, but which decks deserve a little bit more attention, do you think, that people maybe not know
Ah,
very well of, or which you think that like really important historically, perhaps
yeah.
aesthetically beautiful, that people kind of, yeah, not popular among the general public?
Of course, I say the Philippe Vachier because he's starting, and the Pierre Madonier, but the people know now the Pierre Madonier, and it deserves to be known, like the Vachier, and also the Claude Burdel, I would say. The Claude Burdel because the engraving is perfect, and the colors are very nice, and there is some decorations with flowers, etc., typical from the Swiss inspiration, and
Yeah.
so it's a very nice deck to possess and to have in a collection. I estimate the Club Burdel. Huh?
Do you
Yeah,
have it next to you? Because I don't have Claude Bordel. Can you show your reproduction?
yeah. Club Burdel. There it is. Yep.
I will bring you close.
This is the Club Burdel. You
Mm.
see, and so on the Claude Burdel, we are lucky to have. This is the deck, the back,
Yeah.
and we have a good thing is to have first of all the Reaper, the original Reaper.
Mm.
You see, it's written card, fine cards, made by Claude Burdel, custom-made master card maker, with privilege of the sovereign excellencies of Fribourg, and located in the road of the hospitals before. This is written in French because Claude Burdel was French, as I told you.
Yeah, and then he moved to Switzerland.
And this is from Fribourg. This is the arms of Fribourg, because you were living in Fribourg in Switzerland.
Switzerland,
So this deck is superb for many reasons. Let's, for example, look at the La Force.
Nice.
You see the colors?
The colors are very nice, yeah.
The blue, the gray, the yellow to the legs, and also the engraving is so perfect. It's very, very nice. And one thing interesting is, yes, the devil, for example. On the devil, you see, you have the genitals, there is a flower on.
All right, yeah.
Okay? So, why is there a flower? I was very surprised because one time one of my colleagues bought another exemplary in front of me of the Claude Burdel, and the devil has his genitals on his version.
Okay.
What does it mean? Yeah, so it means that there is two versions of the devil card. You see? Interesting, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So I thought to myself that if I do republish this deck one time, I will give back his genitals to the devil, because there were two versions. So I will publish 79 cards. So two times two devils cards. You see,
Okay,
with
so
and
it's
without.
just two devils now, yeah?
Hmm?
Now the Burdel has two devils? It comes with two devil cards?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Okay,
For the moment, yes. The next time I will publish it, I will make two devils for the same price. And for example, if you see the Ace of Cup, it's super because you have the holy bird. You can see, like a phoenix. It's like a phoenix with flames. He's sitting on some piece of wood with flames, and he has the sun upstairs. It's superb. And also the decoration. It's full of decoration. It's typically Swiss decorations. It's very nice for this. This is why I say it's a very nice deck. He has some trumpets also like this. You see? It's different.
Yeah, with this kind of Swiss influence, the decorated like cups, they're beautiful. The minors are beautiful.
Yeah.
But,
No, it's a very nice deck. I like, and the people are not. They don't go directly to the Burdel, but when they buy it, they are very happy. Another time, on the 4th of Denier, you have also the bird with the flames.
Oh, cool! Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Plus,
Like a phoenix birds. Yeah.
plus also the king symbols. You see? The king symbols here. Fleur de lys. You see the fleur de lys?
Yeah, the regal symbols of the
Symbols of the king. So it's very nice deck. Very nice. And you know what? The original is in Marseille. There is one original copy in Marseille. In Marseille museums. Like the Jean-Pierre Laurent also. They are also in in Marseille.
Yeah. I also, the deck that I like from you is probably your smallest one. And I don't hear people talking about this tarot, but this is the one I like a lot.
Ah, yes.
It's a
And
bizarre,
because you have small hands, huh, I suppose.
yeah, small hands, and it's just such a it's such an interesting tarot to me. The backs are lovely because like the
Yeah.
devil, as you see, like we have devil, which
Ah,
is more
yes,
like
it's
fairy
strange, huh?
devil that we have more like in Swiss decks, right? But then we have like well, let's say the hangman, very noble like,
Yeah.
like very kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
rustic type one. Of course, we have Jupiter and Junon. But I
Yes.
think this is another deck that people don't talk much, but it's just for me. I love it so much, and I use it a lot.
Uh-uh. Yeah.
And yeah,
It is not my bestseller for sure because
I know that's
well,
why.
but some people love to have it, and I know that it will take years to recover the money invested for this, but it's not a problem because I know since the beginning that with this deck it will be long time. But this is a sort of deck that have to be published. They has to be published, so I made it.
So why?
But
How did you like? Why did you find it important? Because I think it's beautiful. Like the colors are beautiful. The small sizing is really nice. Guess my copy number. Ta-da!
again,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah. So yeah.
you are
Anyway,
number
this is
two,
some of
huh?
the cards for
Okay,
you, my friends. Yeah.
okay,
Let me just quickly, I highlighted a few comments. We have a question here for you as well, but let's do the comments first. So Jim was saying that he carries a Mages only Nablé all the time because it fits easy in my pocket and I can do a quick reading at bars. Yeah, I'm the
of
same.
course.
I have like a couple of very
Ah
special
yes,
only decks that I like to travel with and carry around and for readings. Yeah. Um,
yes, I understand. Yes, it depends on people. Some people they prefer to have only the 22 with or without the aces, or some use all the cards. It
yeah.
depends. Everything is possible. It's just a question to how to say. I am not really a tarot reader, but I estimate that it's a machine that you have to instruct, like a software that you have
Mhm.
to implement. And so, if you decide to work with 78, it takes more time, but you can achieve, and it will be good for you, good for this moment, good for this life, let's say. So, do this way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, Sebastian wants to be your son because he wants to inherit the horse. Yeah, anyway.
Well,
Yeah. No,
then I
Sebastian, he
am
said
not
like
his
he
son.
wishes he
I
was
would
your
have been
son.
on
Yeah.
the wheel for the ship, but that's okay. I have a copy that would also. Yeah.
If already has a son, do you need a daughter? All right.
Okay.
Here's the question. Yeah, from Jim. Yeah, he asked before. Can you
The
please
card
talk
sort of
about
the
the
original
difference?
version. Yeah.
Oh,
But I already talked. Yes, back
the
to the bash.
cardstock.
Yes.
The
So,
cardstock. How was the paper in the original?
oh, well, I show you one thing. Let's let's do this way. Ah, ah, one second. One one little second. Choop choop choop. This here. This here. Choop. Yes. So, Aries. This is uh, oh, this is the original. This is the reproduction. You see, when you look,
It's like thick, yeah.
yes, it's a little bit. My restitution is a little bit thinner than the original. See?
Yeah, of course,
You see
yeah.
the difference?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because yeah, Jim was also asking about lamination because the original wouldn't have any lamination, it's just the paper, right?
Yes, of course, because my lamination is not how to say. It's made with when they make the cards at the end they send some varnish. You know, they have a
Mm,
spray like a pistol, a spray of varnish that could be how to say glossy or matte or satin, and this one is satinate. And
mm,
on these cards, they don't have any varnish at this period.
mm.
They have only piece of soap.
Yeah.
And they were applying soap on cards before to cut them. Huh? On the big
Mm,
poster of card, they were putting the soap with a
yeah.
with a piece of stone round to really put all the soap very thin surface
Mm.
thickness.
Yeah, and
And
soaping is a traditional technique, right? So it
yes,
was,
yes,
yeah. And now I
yeah,
think people who make cards by hand, they also use like soaping,
yes,
like Instagram, like Agnes in Paris.
yeah,
She
yeah.
uses soap.
Some do it, yes,
Yeah, I
but
do it
for
too now. On some cards, I also soap them.
some people do, yeah. But me, I can't do it for 3,000 cards. No, sorry, it's
No,
simple. 3,000 decks
yes,
multiplied by
I
78. No, impossible for me.
yeah, you want to solve your own. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now also, like in the past, right, your decks were printed in China, but now you moved the production to Marseille, right? You use the Marseille printers.
Yes and no. I went back to Marseille for 3 days.
Mm,
The new Madonier, the new Chausson, and the Millennium from Wilfried. And but it was really too expensive. The
mm,
price is incomparable, and it was really terrible for the cost. And secondly, they don't make the art box. You see, the telescopic box
yeah,
like
the
this.
boxes that
In
they
yes,
out.
in
Mm,
box card like this, a box like this in France, they if you buy 300 copies, you will be charged 15 euro for one box.
oh
15
wow, yeah.
euro, only the box, empty. Eh?
Mm,
Okay, so it's impossible. It's impossible. Or the price of the deck should be maybe 80 or 100 euro. No,
mm,
it is not the way I work. I want to have the deck possible. 39 euro, it's already some money. And of course, to have a deck at 100 euro or 200, I saw some people who make 600 euro for their decks. They sell.
mm,
This is not my way. You see. So
yeah.
this is why the Vachier was made in China,
Mm,
because I need to have a 3,000 minimum deck, and secondly to have the low cost production, not in quality but for the price of
yeah, for the
because
price
the
and still
worker,
with the higher quality. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
of course in China the people are paid uh, 400 euro, maybe 300, 400 euro per month. But if you do this in Poland, they are paid maybe 1,500 euro per month
Yeah.
each worker. So
But
you
in
imagine,
yeah. No, in China, infrastructure and manufacturing also very highly developed. That's why they can produce, things in
yeah,
bulk in large quantities for less money
mm,
because they're just more like the process, the infrastructure, the logistics. They
yes,
developed very well. Yeah.
yeah. The company that produced my deck is a very big company.
Mm.
They are using, I think, 25,000 people. You
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
so it's
yeah.
but they work very well, and there
Mm.
is a very few loss, very few defaults, and they are very correct. very correct. So
No, and it's an incredible, it's just an incredible production. And yeah, it's actually, well, like I keep thanking you for your contribution, to the tarot world, like for my own practice, because when I developed interest in historic decks, and especially like we have quite a number of Italian historic decks, rare decks produced by Italian publishers. But when it comes to woodblock Tarot de Marseille, when I started in 2015, there was pretty much a CBD tarot, more like by what's his name?
yes,
But your vendor, but it's more published by a printer. There was Flornoise, right? The Nablé the Dodal,
yes,
and then. Well, Pablo Robledo, but he was kind of more making things on the side. But your decks, for me, they've been like such an important part of my learning of Tarot de Marseille and falling in love with Tarot de Marseille. And also, I'm very grateful that consistently you keep them at, and 39 euros, like really in the modern world, is actually fairly low price for the deck, especially now.
yeah,
The independent producers, what they charge us like $100 is like a norm, right? Or 80 euros, let's say. So
yeah.
that's incredible, and we're very grateful to you. But what's the future hold? And I know that you're probably not able to share what decks you will be producing, but
Ah,
can we expect a deck from you in 2025?
normally, yes. My
Yes.
son is working already on a new historical deck, and I will have I will see some result in coming weeks. Normally, he told me that he's very busy, but he told me, yes, I'm working. You will soon. You will have some result. So
Yeah.
I don't push him too much.
Mm.
But normally, yes, let's say at the after the summer, because when you play when you work with a Chinese, you have to think when you give them the instruction with the PDF and you send the material down, you have to count 2 months plus 1 month for the cargo container,
Mm.
so 3 months. So I have not sent anything to the Chinese. So if I
Yeah.
send, let's say in May, June,
Mm.
September, October, we should have something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we
I
should have
know
some
that.
nice surprise.
Yeah.
One deck only in 25,
One
huh?
deck in
Only one.
2025.
But
Can you tell us?
in 26, one more, on 27, one more, on 28, normally, yes,
Yeah.
also.
The one for 2025, without telling too much, is it type 1 or type 2 Tarot de Marseille?
Yeah, you try to know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a type 2,
One of
type
the
2,
two. 50%
type
correct.
2,
Yeah.
type 2.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. And my next
I
order,
don't say anymore.
no, I will not, like, yeah, because I want to keep it here.
It will be a type
Especially,
2, yes.
yeah. My next order from you, and I'll probably wait until you release the new deck, but I kind of, on my wish list is Claude Bordel. That's why I asked you to show Claude Bordel, because it's probably will be my
Ah,
next order from you. Yeah, it's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it deserves, yes. It's really a nice deck. And it is a little, it's not as the Aries, the small Aries, but it is rather small, huh? If you
Yeah,
look.
but it's so cute. It's just so nice.
Look, yeah. Look, compare it to the Vachier. You see the difference?
Yeah.
And for those, but for is wide same, but is not as
Oh
long.
yeah, hold on.
You see?
You're talking about this one, right? The Eri, this one? Oh, sorry, I'll need to bring myself in. You can't see me here.
No,
You're talking
yes.
about this terrain, the
Oh no,
Eri?
this one is very big. Huh? No,
Yeah.
this one is a smaller. Is a smaller. I mean than the Vachier. Is
Okay.
you see the age? Only the age, not the wideness, not the wide,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the
yeah.
age is about 4 or 5 millimeters less.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like smaller decks, but again, I like the original size, and you keep the decks to the original,
yes,
right?
I keep the original size. Yes,
Yeah.
this is the minimum. Huh? I think
Well,
it's
I'll
normal.
show people, just comparison. So that's my no, because I really love this tarot, and I kind of want more people to have it because it's very
Ah.
special. I'll just show you the size difference. So this is the Vashia. So you can see the Vashia card right on the back,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the little
Whoa!
lady.
The
Bring
little son.
Yeah, so you can see
Yes.
the devil because I love the devil and the little lady tarot. Yeah, there you go. So
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
spice, right? So, but the cards they read so beautifully, and yeah, it's a Besançon. Yes, let us see what people are saying. I think we pretty much discussed everything. Hey, Eve, unless you want to mention any other DX. So people saying thank you for making this possible. And
Hello.
yeah,
Well, that would be my next one too, but don't take all. There is always two numbers. I am the two something.
too late, Sebastian. Too late.
Too
Before
late.
I
Too
already
late.
reserved one number two.
I
Yeah,
signed a contract with Masha for only the two number
yeah,
two.
that's it. Yeah, yep. Too late, my friend.
Too late.
Yeah, maybe I'll be kind.
Okay.
Maybe I'll allow him to have. Yeah, but yes. So with you, Dex, I mean, I think we discussed everything, but because you pretty much like one man publisher, right? So when you get the decks, you send the decks all by yourself, right? Or do you have
Yes.
any help? Yeah,
No, I have only my two ends, and
yeah,
I send everything, and I write every time a small card to everybody. Yes.
mm, yeah.
Yes. This is my way to communicate with the people, and I think they like because they think, oh, there is a human that wrote to me,
Mm.
and it's normal. Well, for me,
Yeah.
this is I like to do this way. Yeah.
And it's a nice
Yeah.
touch. Also, I mean, personal notes are so rare these days, and it's beautiful.
Mhm.
Like, it's very personal when we get it. And also, it's nice, it's in a way because what you do, you put the note on top of one of the cards from your decks, right? So you just like choose a random card and you put a note in a tarot card.
And I put.
Yeah, like when I don't have it in here, do I? No, I don't. Or maybe I have. Yeah. So you see, like your note to me, you put the note at the back of the real card.
Ah, yes, yes. Yes.
And it's
I
almost like
use.
a little, yeah, it's like a little reading, you pull, it's like, okay, my
Ah,
message.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, and sometimes I have to send. I send the number 13. You know that some people are afraid, but I at the feeling I put a card. I don't want to how to say to bother the people with a specific card. I don't.
Mm,
But I think the people find some message and they are happy to find, you put this card, it gives something for me. They interpret that they like this because
mm.
it gives something to them. So
Yeah.
it's a signal for them, interesting.
And also
Yeah.
because of little cards like that, I discovered Chasson because you sent me one of the decks with the cards. I think this one is also from Chasson, being from Chasson, and that's how I discovered the Francois Chasson Tarot. Because
Ah,
I
yes.
started thinking, oh, maybe I want to ask you, like, where is it from? Yeah. Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
I was putting the name of the deck in small letters below when on the
Mm.
text. Now I don't do it anymore. If somebody asks me what is this card, you send to me which name, which deck, and I say this one is this deck. Okay, I like the
Yeah.
discover of the decks. In fact, like this.
This is just for Sebastian. Sebastian, that's my number for the Vashia Tarot. I am very sorry. I apologize.
Okay.
Right. So Joe is saying that right. So the big
Ah,
Eri, the one that
the
I showed
Vigary and the Jack.
in
Yes.
17, yeah. And Jacques Bordel are among my Yves Reynaud's favorites, with of course
Jack
Madenia,
Burdell, yes. Jack
Bordel.
Burdell, yes. It's a nice deck. and not so popular than the other one, but it's a nice engraving, and because it was the grandson of Claude Burdel, you see, the Jack Burdel. And they were. It was interesting because in the life they had two jobs. They were making cards, and they were also director of the jail of Fribourg. Director of the jail. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Well,
yeah. And there are two occupations: director of the jail of Fribourg, and also a card maker. That's strange. Huh?
the same person. Well, cheap labor. Like, if you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
kind of use labor to print the cards, who knows?
Yeah, maybe, who knows?
Yeah, because like in Russia, in prisons or jails, prisoners actually they work and they make a little bit of money, so they kind of actually
Yeah,
have
yeah.
jobs.
In France also they work, and if they want, they can work and get some money. For when they will be free, they had some money. Yeah, it's good,
Yeah,
and also for the brain, it's good to work to do something, or you
yeah,
become
and for the
nuts. Huh?
skill also for rehabilitation. Like once they get out of
Yeah,
jail, they have a skill to
yeah,
rely on as well. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's a good practice.
Yeah, I think we have covered everything, Eve, and
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you so much for your time and
yeah.
for
We spent 2 hours, huh? I think so. Huh?
almost, yeah, almost, well, 2 hours
Yeah,
together,
almost 2 hours. Huh?
2 hours
Well, huh?
on live.
No
Yeah,
problem.
time always goes, time always flies, and I'm really grateful, like as I said, like for your time that like you agreed to come and talk to me here, and also for all the work that you do and contribution you have made, because it's
Thank you.
invaluable and it needs to be acknowledged, and it needs to be like really kind of honored and admired by us in Tarot community. I'm also very grateful to everyone who participated in our live chat, and to those of you who will be watching back. Most people watch back. We're all in different time zones. Yeah.
Merci beaucoup à tout le monde d'avoir participé. Et thank you to everybody to have participated, and thank you to you, Masha. You have
Yeah.
been perfect and very professional as usual.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very
Apart
much.
from my bragging rights, right? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And so wishing everyone a wonderful weekend, and all the links will be for you. I will include Eve's website for you. I will try to find the PDF so you can just click and download Thierry Depaulis for those of you
yeah.
who wants to learn. And for you, Eve, if you can just stay with me for a little bit, and then let's say goodbye to everyone. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Your time
Au
will mean
revoir.
to me. Au
Bye
revoir.
bye.
Ciao
Au
tutti.
revoir.
Goodbye. До свидания.
Yeah.
All the languages. But yeah, thank you so much to all of you, and enjoy your
Thank you,
day.
everybody.